All right, that was a little delayed, but we'll get that fixed. All right, we should be ready to go. So, first thing we do is normally do a little bit of a mic check. So, just spout some random nonsense. We can get that mic check rolling. What do you say, buddy?
Some random nonsense. What do you say, buddy? Oh, I forgot the get that mic going. Whatever. Close enough.
Yeah, that should be fine. I think you should be good. Normally, I have a chat member. Tell me if it's good, but I see the levels compared to mine, so I think we should be good. We should be good for the overall, overall general aspect of the show.
Yeah, I think I expect Eevee will probably show up before long.
Yeah.
I think Eevee showed interest.
Yeah, I should have one.
My Discord as well, so.
Yeah, one of my mods should be here shortly. So if there's any issues regarding that, somebody will tell us something. But all right, this has been a long time in the making. It's took us a while to get here, but now we're finally here.
Yeah. No kidding.
Just to add context to this, guys, I was actually going to interview this man before I went on hiatus. So this has been a
8 months, somewhere in that range.
6 months in the making. 7 months in the making. Like it's unreal. But we're finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the fellow pokeNERDS of the world, welcome to the pokeNERDS Incorporated podcast, a Pokemon exclusive podcast just for us pokeNERDS to sit down, relax, and get to know other fellow Pokemon content creators in the Pokemon community. I am your host, your man Spence from the Poké Network. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who this man is, allow me to introduce you to him. He's a shiny hunter. He's a variety streamer. He's got a master's degree. No disrespect to the Shine Man and Man Smartbee, this guy's got the best gear. This guy's got the best beard in the entire Pokemon scene today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stream, Kawanaka.
Hello. Glad to be here.
So, Kawanaka, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit down with me and let me pick your brain on what makes you a PokeNerd, and just seeing you here today just makes me so happy. So seriously, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course. Glad that we could make this happen. As you said, yes, 6 months later, but I mean, what happened had to happen. So it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I've been saying all this time. Me being gone all that time, everything that happened for me getting all the getting me the proper help that I needed, all that had to happen to get to this point. So I'm glad that we're finally here at this point.
I agree.
But yeah, man, I'm just so excited. I'm in such a good mood.
That's good.
All right, man. Are you ready to get this interview started?
I am ready when you are.
All right. So, the first thing that we normally do is a basic intro between both the creators. We introduce ourselves, we explain what types of content we produce, and a little bit of a retrospective of our Twitch journeys, where, how we got into it, where we started, and where we are now. So, you got the floor, Kawa.
All right. So, as Spence said, my name is Kawanaka, right? I do both Pokemon and variety, right? By and large nowadays, it's usually both at the same time. I'll do things such as World of Warcraft or Hearthstone or Genshin or Honkai Star Rail type of grinds on the one hand, while I'm usually doing either Dynamax adventures or full odds encounters or various method hunting on the side. So doing a little bit of both. Usually I'll do the shiny hunting in loading screens, or while I'm waiting for something to spawn, or while I'm waiting for someone to take their turn, or basically any downtime I can find. Right. But no big surprise, that is not how I started out, and that is definitely not what my content originated as. In fact, I was full variety to start, but even that is a bit of a misnomer because realistically, I started streaming in like 2016 or 2017 for a full like 3 days of Dwarf Fortress, and then promptly disappeared off the face of Twitch for like 3 or 4 years. Um, at which point, Q2 2019. So this would be December 2019. I went to BlizzCon in November 2019. And while I was at BlizzCon, I saw a lot of content creators. I saw a lot of, just Blizzard hype as a whole. And so, go to December and I'm just starting to feel a bit more psyched and inspired to stream. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So start out in December. I think I was streaming like twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays or something like that. But started off by playing a Yakuza game. I actually did a full playthrough of it. Got a grand total of like 0 viewers, as one would expect. Right, that's generally how it goes. But did a full playthrough of it. Talked throughout the whole thing, getting good practice on that kind of stuff, which is very important for anyone who's trying to get into streaming, right? Even if you have nobody there, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. But anyway, so made it through that, at which point I tried to switch it up a bit more. Did various other games until eventually I played a game called Clone Drone in the Danger Zone. And this was a game that I played a fair bit before, but one of the reasons that I decided to play it was on its main menu screen, it had a featured content creators thing, right? Where it would show people that were streaming it on Twitch, right? So I streamed it, and pretty quickly I picked up several viewers, whereas prior to that I had none. And that was due to two things. Well, one, because of that featured content creator, but also it's got a fairly tight community, fairly active community, despite being not streamed all that much. So anyway, I used that for several weeks. Got to affiliate through that pretty quickly. Um, at that point, I was just doing more full variety. I had a channel point redemption for a long time where people could make me play any game that I had for like 10,000 channel points, which if I did that nowadays, oh my God, I'd never get to play anything that I want.
I know.
It would just be things from other people. In part because I don't stream a ton anymore, but in part because like once you get past a certain number of viewers, 10,000 channel points is not that much.
Yeah, I know. Like
So
if I did that, I'd have to change my name to the Variety Network because
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be able to do
So
my
it's
Pokemon stuff.
after I started to grow a bit, I still have that channel point redemption. It's just 100K now, so a fair bit harder to reach, right? But so I did that for a while, and then I was doing that variety more or less whole time, and doing lots of Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, where I mean I'd start pushing like 15 with it, but I was getting sick of it. I was getting so sick of it. Like it's a great game, I love it, but prior to streaming it, I had played maybe 50 hours of it. After streaming it, I was at like 350. I was getting overdosed on it. So I was already kind of looking for things to do. But anyway, so cut to June of 2020. So I've been streaming for about 6 months at that point. Um, I had a guide the raid channel point redemption, as many people do. And somebody guided me to raid Precision. Right. So I raided Precision. Well, first saw he was doing Pokemon. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't played Pokemon in a while. Because at that point, I stopped playing round Oras. So hadn't done any Sun and Moon, hadn't gotten a Switch for Sword and Shield. So I was out of it for a bit. I mean, I'd still done some Pokemon stuff here and there, but not much. So anyway, I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's see what he's doing. Rated in. As soon as I rated in, immediately got gifted a sub by Bob Larka. And I don't know if it was directed or if it was random still to this day, but regardless, ended up with a sub. So I was hanging out, hanging out with Precision that night, having a good time, and saw him shiny hunting, and like I knew what shinies were, right? I had gotten a couple of my own in the time that I played the Pokemon games, but I hadn't really ever hunted for them. I haven't ever looked for them. So I saw him doing it, and I was like, whoa, this seems cool, like exciting. So I was like, all right, bet, let's try some of this out. So that got me back into Pokemon. At which point, then cascade into crap ton of Pokemon. But anyway, so from then it was about like 2 years, maybe a year and a half of very solid like Pokemon only for the most part content. But as with anything, and as with most Pokemon streamers, what they end up experiencing, and as I had already done once, overdosed on it a bit, right? You get a bit tired of doing the exact same thing over and over, especially when there's all these other exciting games coming out that you want to play, or you have a current game that you're just like really want to grind. So shifted more back to variety, but initially a mix of like just doing full on variety, and then till at this point settled more into the try to do variety while also doing Pokemon at the same time. But the last year and a half, 2 years have been less frequent as far as my streams are concerned, just because, I mean, various life things, time becomes far more scarce once you've got a full-time job. Part of it was also I got back together with someone, so I'm in a relationship again, so like that takes more time away. So it's just like finding the time for it can be difficult. And then of course there's also, in my case at least, it's I don't want to go live if I'm only gonna be live for like an hour. I'd much rather be like at least 3 hours if I'm gonna be streaming, but I'm getting better about it, kind of, with doing some of the shorter streams. But yeah, that's more or less it in a nutshell in terms of my journey.
You have probably got you. All right, so this takes the cake. You have been the most descriptive in terms of your retrospective out of all the guests of the show.
Well, I've gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of changes and whatnot throughout. So there's a lot that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. All right. I haven't gone through as many changes as you have, but I have definitely gone through some changes. But that will be dressed upon later on. But now we gotta hydrate. So go ahead and sip up after all that talking. All right, my turn. So for those of you from Kawaside who aren't familiar with me, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Spence. As I stated, this is the Poké Network, and yes, I put the emphasis on the. I am a variety Pokemon streamer because I stream all types of Pokemon content, from shiny hunting, Nuzlockes, playthroughs, ROM hacks, collabs, just whatever you can think of Pokemon wise. I've pretty much done it, except for a randomizer in Sword. I really want to do that one day, but don't have the capacity to do it at the moment. But basically where it got started for me as a YouTube viewer, because being the little Poké nerd that I am, I had to be the closet nerd, because there's not really many nerds in my school grade, so I had to keep all that stuff home. But I will say, the one channel that I frequently watched over and over again was M&J TV, and to this day he is still my favorite Pokemon tuber. And pretty much a bucket list goal of mine is to, at least talk to him one day, one-on-one, whether it's a Discord call or something like that. Just, you get what I mean. But he really inspired, like, yeah, and I also saw people like, A Drive, Shady Penguin, and all these guys do these really cool Nuzlocke challenges and streaming and whatnot. And I was like, oh man, this stuff looks so cool. And I'm like, man, I really want to do this one day. But the problem is, I don't know how to do any of this stuff, and I don't have any friends who know any of this kind of stuff. So, I went on. I gambled, and I actually sent an email to M&J TV to see if he would respond and like see if he would be willing to give me some advice on how to start up. For some reason, I didn't want to start as a YouTube channel because I wasn't good at videos, so I figured Twitch would be my better alternative because streaming seemed like an easier thing for me. So I decided to ask him.
I'd say the barrier to entry to stream is far lower than it is to make YouTube videos. At the very least, if you want to make like good YouTube videos, yeah, it's.
I could definitely agree on that. I mean, I suck at I've even the most basic video editing software. I suck. I suck. But yeah, to my shock, he actually responded.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like I sent it through his like business email, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I would even get a response, so I just sent a response, and to my surprise, he responded. So I just, I took the email, what he said to heart, and this was in 2019, and I didn't actually begin doing all this until 2020, the year we shall not speak of. So basically, I took the incentive money that we all got, and I poured pretty much all of that into my starter PC and setup, and I started streaming the day the Isle of Armor DLC released. That was June 17th, 2020. And as usual, as you said, streamed to nobody. That's usually how it went. And I streamed the whole DLC, and I shiny hunted for a little bit, and then I fell off the face of the earth. Fell off the face of the earth.
Pretty common.
Oh,
yeah.
Whoops.
Accidentally closed your stream.
Yeah.
There it goes. Fixed up.
Yeah. Yeah, just ignore it. Just ignore it on your end. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah. Fell off the face of the earth. Yeah, fell off the face of the earth. And then for a few months, I'm like, why am I doing this? It doesn't seem like it's working. So what I did was it was probably about a month or two, like a month and a half before the Crown Tundra was going to be released. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to do a challenge run before the DLC releases. So I decided to do a surprise / Wonderlock in Shield to get me kind of going back into the YouTube grind, and that's what got me flowing. I got some followers. I was being watched by people. I got my first raid, and I learned a few things, but it wasn't enough because pretty much for the first 6 months of my journey, I was pretty much streaming to nobody, and it just wasn't going good. Then in 2021, I learned some tricks of the trade, and then once things got rolling there, once I was finally able to learn how to properly promote myself, I got affiliated, and then it went on to me doing more challenge runs, more shiny hunting, going into community shiny hunting events, and actually dabbling my toes into variety content because I'm not I barely do variety content. I was doing horror games during the horror season. I did a week where I did nothing related to Pokemon for a full week, and then I had
recently.
What?
I know you've been doing some Hades recently.
Oh, I love Hades, man. It's probably the one game in years that's nothing Pokemon related that's got me so hooked on it. I'm just sitting here in my seat, my chair, my ass nearly glued to my seat, waiting for Hades 2 to be released on the Switch. Because it's like, let me play the game.
It's a really good game. I haven't tried Hades 2 yet, but the first Hades is quite good.
Yes, the first Hades
I haven't done super high heat or anything. I've only done maybe heat 5, right?
But my highest I think right now is 13 heat. I've not done anything like that. Hey, Ghost Rider, what is up? I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, what's up? But yeah. I did a rebrand and I started the podcast, and it's just been a whole roller coaster and snowball into the point to where we are now. And of course, I kind of unplugged my channel, and I stopped doing it for about 6 months to focus to deal with my mental health problems, and it needed to happen it needed to happen so I could get to a better place of where I am now. And I'm just really thankful that when I came back, there were not only my chat members and people to, you know, wish me luck and welcome me back, but also people like you who haven't forgotten about me or this and wanted to continue the podcast, which I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of us that are glad to see that you made it through it, right? I mean, I know that there was several low points, especially like right as you were starting going into it. And it's like there's a good number of us that are worried about you, and are really
Yeah.
happy to see that you're better now,
Yeah.
stronger for it.
Yeah, definitely a lot stronger. But all right. So next up is the origin of our channel names. So I need to ask, Kawanaka. Like I know it's like a Japanese name, but I need to know, why did you decide to go with this name out of everything you could have potentially called yourself? Why Kawanaka?
So it is a Japanese name, yes, but I didn't know that when I made it. I
Interesting.
had no clue that was the case, because when I created it, it had nothing to do with names. No, it actually has to do with Animal Crossing. And
Animal
to be
Crossing.
more specific, Animal Crossing Wild World, I think is what the one it was. It was either City Life or Wild World. But anyway, so you probably are relatively familiar with Animal Crossing. Like one of the things that they'll do occasionally is come up with like catchphrases, right? And so to come up with the various catchphrases, they can ask you, different questions, right? So in this case, the question that got posed to me is something along the lines of, what do you think an alien chant would sound like? I was, I don't know, maybe like 11, 12, something like that. I was like, I don't know what an alien chant would sound like. Kawanaka, something. That's what I put in, right? Um, yeah. Also, I think your mic is gone out.
My mic?
Well, I saw you made a face, so I wasn't sure if you said what or not.
Well, I kind of said what.
Okay, it didn't
I
get
was like,
picked up. That's all. You have me worried for a
yeah,
moment.
like
I was like,
I
wait.
said it so, like I said it faintly, so I'm like,
Yeah, all
but
good,
yeah,
all
go
good.
on, go on.
I'm just the streamer brain. I see someone's like making words with their mouth and no sound comes out, and I'm like, oh god, their mic is muted. I gotta tell them.
I'm
Like,
so guilty of this, because sometimes, like, I got a hyper X mic that actually lights up when it's on, and it doesn't light up when it's on, and I tap it when I go away from my chair. But sometimes I don't look at my mic, and I don't see the red.
yeah.
I forget the red light's not on, and I'm like, oh shit! And then I'm talking, and somebody's like, dude, you're muted. And I'm like, ah, damn it! Thank you.
I do the exact same thing. I have an Elgato Wave 1, and it's got like a little button on it that you can just press it to mute the mic. All right. And when you do, it makes the little ring light around it turn red instead of just a white light. And I'll usually do that if I have to like blow my nose or something while I'm streaming. So I'll do it like, super quickly and then totally forget to unmute it. And so I'll just have been sitting there for like 10 minutes muted, and then somebody's like, we can't hear you. And I'm like, no, how long has this been happening? Oh, it's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't happening. But anyway,
No
so
problem.
yes, alien chant. That's ultimately how I came up with it. Just off the cuff, alien chant. And then it just kind of stuck as a username. Like previous to this, my username was like Kirby fan and then some numbers, right? Which is, as you would imagine, generally going to be a popular username. You'll see a lot of Kirby fans, right?
I've seen a few.
But once I had this, Kawanaka, it was just like nowhere. Right? Never taken. The only times it was taken usually was when I had created an account myself when I was younger, and that email was long gone. No getting that back. So it's just been really easy for the most part to pick it up Now, that it is also a Japanese name does mean that for stuff like Twitter and Blue Sky and whatnot, it is sometimes taken. But for most gaming things, always free game, always easy to grab, which is nice. It's very nice.
Damn, like I didn't know. I wasn't. I don't know what I was expecting when I wanted the backstory behind this, but I wasn't expecting alien chant Kawanaka.
Exactly.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, I don't think anyone ever would, really. It's not, it's pretty hard to think of. And I mean, ultimately, it was just generated by the fact that, I mean, I'm not particularly creative, so I just ended up with a more like just a general chant kind of thing.
Hey, I mean,
Didn't make like weird sounds or anything, just like straight A sounds with consonants, but whatever.
I mean, heck, I got a basic bitch username in the Poké Network, but you got the interesting username there with the Kawanaka. It's like come on, give yourself some credit there, bub.
Yeah, no. I'm glad with how it turned out. Don't get me wrong. Like that part's incredible. I just think like as far as an alien chant goes, it's pretty weak. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but at least it worked. Oh, did he actually? Ah, dude, Shine, you are one lucky bastard.
What did he just get?
He got the Stonejourner.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he got that quick. What the heck?
Yeah, 130, dude. You lucky son of a bitch.
That thing has like such. Well, I guess in the DLC areas you can actually find Stonejourner pretty easily in Crown Tundra. I was thinking of base game. It's like super annoying to find.
Man, we're both kind of lurky durky in Shine's chat right now because he's doing his Giga Dad subathon. So we're both kind of lurky durky in there.
Yeah. No, he started back up 2 hours ago. I pulled him up before and he was sleeping, right? But he had like a thing of himself, like kind of. Well, he had a video of himself, but he also had like a clip or something that was just like him fake sleeping and it wouldn't move around and whatnot. And so when I showed up, it was like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes before he was supposed to come back. So I saw that and I was just like, bro's faking sleeping, came back a little early. And then I saw it like reset itself and I was like, oh.
All right, so now it's my turn. So I believe I knew you beforehand, but the Poké Network's not my original username.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my original user. Yeah, I met you before my rebrand. So I was initially the S Poké Network before I was the Poké Network. So I'll explain my reasoning behind that. So when I decided I wanted to become a Twitch streamer, I knew I wanted to be a Pokemon related Twitch streamer. So I wanted Poké to be my username as sort of a people identify me as this because Poké's part of my username. It's Pokemon, so Pokemon guy. Mm-hmm. Where network came from is in college I went for business administration, and there's a lot of group projects in the business courses that I was taking, and so you would have to group up and network with these people. So Poké Network, and I'm like, Poké Network. This seems like it has a nice little ring to it. Poké Network, it'll work. So, of course, when I put it in Twitch, it was already taken, so I wasn't thinking of the at the time because I just thought it'd be way too generic. So I just put the S in front of there because Spencer is my legal name, so it's just my first initial. But little did I know how much chaos that would ensue because...
Poké Network. Yep.
I don't like using underscores, and Twitch doesn't let you use hyphens. So many mispronunciations over the nearly 3 years I had that username.
Yeah. But because you had the did you have the underscore? I can't remember.
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
The S and the P
were both capitalized. You had both capitalized. So I think the first time that you rated into me, I think I might have actually pronounced it correctly.
It's been so long, man.
Because
I
of
don't
that
remember.
fact, I don't fully recall, but I might have.
I just know
yeah.
that I've had so many people mispronounce my name over the years. And I got sick of it, so I decided to rebrand at the beginning of 2023 before the podcast series lifted off the ground. And I'm like, thank you so much. This is such it was such a positive change. And even now, like, I mean, I got some people who still give me crap about it to this day. But it's not like it's more of a rib, more like if I didn't rib on you, I don't like you, or it's more of if I didn't rib on you, I wouldn't like you. So it's like it's a fun rib. But yeah, that's the origin of my channel name.
Yeah, no, I think it's crazy that that the Poké Network wasn't taken. That's lucky, I would say.
Yeah, like I made sure it wasn't taken before the rebrand, and I kept up to date. Making sure it wasn't, so that way when I did do it, just actually a word of advice to all those out there: if you're Twitch streaming, do not change your name in the middle of a stream. It fucks everything up. That's what I did.
Were you doing like a celebratory rebrand stream? Like,
no,
all right, guys, here we go. I'm gonna rebrand in 3, 2, 1.
Because because what happened was I didn't want somebody to jokingly change their name before I officially relaunched. So like I was gonna formally announce I was rebranding and then raid out and then change my name. I didn't want that small window of time for someone to go in there and jokingly change their name, so my rebrand would have been ruined. That was I was petrified.
What I was thinking, though, is more like you didn't tell anyone what the rebrand was, just that a rebrand was coming, right?
Well, my mod team knew a rebrand was coming, and only them, but I didn't tell them I was going to do it at the very end of a stream. That's where everything got screwed up, because like it's like people it's just too much to go into detail. But why don't you and I get into the nitty-gritty details on what makes you the poke-nerd you are, sir? So, Kawa, what is your favorite Pokemon and why?
So, my favorite Pokemon is Trico, and I mean, ultimately, by extension, kind of the whole Trico line, which is due to a number of factors. I mean, one, I like the color green a lot, so that helps. Two, its personality in the anime is kind of good. I don't know what other word to use right now for it, but I just like the personality that Trico has in the anime. And I haven't really seen that much of the anime as a whole, but I've seen some like bits and pieces of Trico in there. Third, I had a Trico figurine when I was younger, along with like some other Gen 3 mons as well. So got a lot of exposure to it through that. Fourth, I mean, I use Sceptile extensively in Emerald, like quite a lot. And then I mean, fifth, I just kind of also just like its overall design, right? I think Trico has a really sleek design, right? It's a good one. Its shiny is also really nice, right? I think its evolution into Grovyle is quite good. It's one of the starter lines that is actually just banger after banger after banger, pretty much, I'd say, in terms of the Evos, whereas there are other lines that are definitely not that case. So yeah, that's why Trico is the favorite, which I know is actually a sentiment that others have as well, in terms of just Trico being a favorite Pokemon.
Like MJTV, he loves Sceptile.
Yep, and Sammy also loves Trico and Sceptile as well.
I also will say, Grovyle is one of those few Pokemon that has a decent middle evolution.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's just a really good one. Grovyle is so slick. I love it. And I mean, maybe that's helped in part by the mystery dungeon game where you're like traveling around with a Grovyle a bunch. But also it's just sleek. It's got the couple of leaves on its arms, like near the hands, that just kind of look almost like claws. Like, it's just good. It's just good design.
I can agree on that. I'm more of a Swampert guy myself, but basically the whole Hoenn line is just banger after banger after banger, like you said.
Yeah, no, Swampert is a good mon. That was what I had used in Ruby, so I do have an affinity for the Mudkip line as well. Certainly, just not quite as great as my affinity for the Trico line.
I hear you.
Up there.
I definitely hear you. I mean, my favorite Pokemon, as you guys may know, I'm getting it tattooed on my arm currently, but it is Obstagoon. My next
is a really cool mon.
My next session for this is in 3 weeks, so 3 more weeks I get my next session on that.
How many sessions have you had so far?
Just the one, which is the line work and like 90% of the shading. But the key reasons why it's my favorite basically came down to, like, when Gen 8 was introduced, I genuinely didn't believe that there would be a single Pokemon introduced in this gen that would be, let alone added to my top 10, very let alone take the top spot as my favorite Pokemon of all time. So when we got that formal announcement that there'd be Galarian Pokemon, I was like, let's see what we get. Galarian, Zigzagoon to Linoon, and I'm like, huh, interesting. Ooh, they're dark types. Cool. They look a little bit cooler. Look a little bit sleeker. But then all of a sudden, bam, Linoon actually evolves, and I'm like, what? The Obstagoon basically jumped into my top 10, like right at the top 10 spot on looks alone, without much detail other than the fact that it's a dark type and it looks badass.
It does.
All right, then when I finally got to use it in my first Sword playthrough, it was a freaking monster, man. It is so powerful when you set it up right. Gut set with Flame Orb and Facade. Oh, man, it's so freaking strong. It carried a good chunk of my team. Oh, we got another Hydrate. Fun fact, Rayquaza was my first ever shiny legendary that I caught. Fun fact, my first shiny legendary I caught was a shiny Verizon.
Mine was Dialga.
Nice. But yeah, and also fun fact, the original Obstagoon I own isn't named Demon, it's named Simmons. Like Gene Simmons.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I get it.
Demon's what I normally call it. But finally got to use it, and then came starting the whole channel. I wanted a Pokemon mascot, and I wanted to use. I didn't want to use Darkrai at the time because Patters was like using it as like a co-mascot with Subnoodle and Rowlet, and I'm like, can't use it. So I looked around, nobody was really using Obstagoon, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump the gun and I'm gonna be the Obstagoon guy. And that's pretty much what I've been known for the last few years, is like the Obstagoon guy. If somebody finds a shiny Obstagoon, I get tagged on Twitter. If somebody finds a shiny, if there's like Obstagoon related stuff, I get tagged in it. Heck, when the Hatsumiku drawings were being released, the second the dark one dropped, I got like 3 tags on Twitter saying, yo dude, look at this, because it was Obstagoon.
Yeah, those were some nice art pieces.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually printed off the dark one and I put it in my nerd cabinet. You can kind of see it like right in there. But anyway, but yeah, it overtook Darkrai. So yeah, once it became a mascot, it overtook Darkrai as my favorite. So that's the story behind all that.
Even though Darkrai ended up becoming a pretty big part of your channel too. Yeah. Yeah, that thing slowly went down the line in terms of my favorite Pokemon because of that stupid hunt. What was it, like 10,500?
20,118.
Oh, it was a lot longer than I thought. I knew it was long. I just couldn't remember how long.
Yeah. But speaking of shinies,
it's over. You did it.
Yes, it's over. But speaking of shinies, which one's your favorite and why?
Espeon. I just can't get enough of that green. It's so good. and it you could consider this a hot take because it's one that has people on both sides. There are some that definitely go, I hate it, it's disgusting, right? But myself, and I know like Sammy as well, like I love that green. I love it so much.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't like green. I didn't like Dragonite shiny for a little while, but then all of a sudden, bam! I helped set 3 world records with that stinking thing. But yeah,
That's how I feel about Seal and Ladybug. It's like Seal and Ladybug. These shinies aren't great, but you know what? They got me in the Gen 1 and Gen 2, so good enough.
why did that? Hey, that dubbed me the. Hey, I'm the pseudo collector of the series, and like I got the shiny Tyranitar and the shiny Dragonite. So next event, I got to get either Metagross or Salamence or both.
Yeah, I'm just yellow, I guess. That's all I'm getting.
I don't know.
Light yellow shinies.
But yeah, with Espeon, like, is Espeon like that top tier solely because of the green, or is it also because you have an affinity for it?
I mean, it's largely because of the green. The affinity for it has grown, right? In part because like I really liked the shiny, and so I used it more slash it's present more. So I mean, you just grow to like it more ultimately. Um, but I mean, in terms of evolutions, like I actually prefer Leafeon over Espeon, just in terms of pure Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I still like Espeon as a Pokemon as well. It's just the shiny just boosts it like way up.
I hear
Just
you.
such a good green.
I fully see it, man. I fully agree with you. My favorite shiny, which apparently a group of friends of mine apparently have a niche for that fact that it's so overhyped. Just the Pokemon in general. And no, it's not Charizard. It's shiny Greninja.
It is a nice one. It is a nice one. Those sorts of color combinations of like black, red, and white look really good.
I know.
Greninja
I
as a
know.
whole is a pretty cool Pokemon, so
That's my whole aesthetic right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I ran that aesthetic in Warframe for quite a while, just like black, red, white, and gray. Like it just looks slick. It looks nice. The black, white, gray main colors with red accents. It's good. It's good.
I know. I fully get it, man. I mean, I'll admit this, and when the mightiest Greninja came into play and we were able to shiny hunt it, I found it within 300 eggs, and my reaction, oh god, that was like the worst shiny reaction I ever had. I literally choked on water. Oh man, that's what happened.
Just mid drinking something and you see it just die instead of
instead of like doing the whole classic reaction, I went for the choke. I don't know why.
I mean, you probably were facing your computer and like, oh god, not water on the computer.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, like I was facing this way because the last time I spilled something from my bottles onto the keyboard or onto the desktop, it ruined my keyboard and I had to replace it.
Yep.
But luckily for me, I'm just a basic bitch and I use Logitech.
Yeah, I mean mine's not much better. This is like a $20 keyboard or something that I picked up off Amazon, which is like good enough. I don't have a mechanical keyboard or anything.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, Greninja is actually my second favorite Pokemon of all time, so it also gets brownie points because if Greninja wasn't so high on my favorite list, it would have been Rayquaza because I'm a Gen 3 baby. I love Rayquaza. I love the Black Dragon because
it's also a very nice one.
Yes. But yeah, I like the color black. Can you blame me?
Nice slick black shinies, yeah.
Yeah, can you blame me? All right. So, based on what you were telling me earlier between Leafeon and Trico, is it safe for me to ask you if grass is your favorite type or is it something else?
I would say in general, it probably is. I mean, if we're talking from like a competitive standpoint slash like what I'm using for battles, probably not. But if it's just in terms of like design and whatnot, yeah, probably. I think that it's generally neat to see what sort of plant designs they do, and how they incorporate like real plants into them. So yeah, that or flying probably. I like birds a lot, so it's just one of
Grass and
those
fly.
things though where it can be hard to decide. Like, yeah, in your case, I think it's pretty clear what it is, but I
Yeah.
tend to be more wishy-washy about these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve, literally. So, so yeah, I hold no secret that I love Dark type Pokemon. I've just always felt comfortable. I've always felt at home with Dark types. I love their designs. I love their color schemes. I love their move pools. And it's just, there's nothing about their. I mean, there is one thing about Dark types I absolutely despise, which we'll get to later. But yeah, even my top 5 Pokemon of all time are all Dark types. I got Obstagoon, I got Ninja, I got Darkrai, I got Hydreigon, Umbreon. Like they're all Dark types. Like my other 5 aren't Dark types, but my top 5 Pokemon of all time, yes, they are Dark types. So it's like, plus I hold no secret that I've had a rough life. In terms of like my mental warfare battles, like I've never really been homeless or like I've like there. Hold on, let me rephrase. Everyone's got their war stories. I got a lot of mental warfare, so I've been through a lot mentally. So I will say that I feel at home with Dark types because they really get a bad rep, but at the same time they are absolutely powerful monsters that that can combat anything.
That's a very good reason.
I guess as a kind of as a niche to that, my second favorite type would be fighting types because I'm a fighter myself. So, all right. So, what would be your favorite Pokemon game and why? And if you have a spin-off game you like, please include that. So, main series and spin-off.
Okay, one of each. Okay.
Yeah.
So, main series, my favorite game has a bit of a caveat because it is Sword and Shield, but with the DLC, right? And that is specifically because of Dynamax Adventures.
I can agree.
Dynamax Adventures are fantastic. I love them so much, right? Like, you can shiny hunt the legendaries with it, and that's really nice. They're really easy to just kind of do on the side while you're doing some other stuff. You can do them with friends. They're stimulating enough that it's not just let me press the exact same buttons over and over and over. Like you have to actually think. They're kind of like they're still challenge runs of a sense. So like they're not guaranteed wins by any means. Like you have to actually think about it. I love them. I love them so much. They're so good. And like them alone just like make Sword and Shield my favorite. Right? I mean like Sword and Shield definitely have a lot of downsides as a whole, but like Dynamax Adventures, they're just so good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, without Sword and Shield, my whole channel wouldn't be anything because Sword and Shield what got me into streaming. And plus DLCs like freaking they finally gave us shiny legendary that we couldn't get shiny before unless it's through an event, so I can fully see where you're coming from on that. I mean, heck, to this day and forever it bless you.
Thank you.
From as of this point, through my past life and this life and forever until the end of time, my logo will forever be the sword font. But anyway, continue.
So that's by far favorite main game, right? Um, in terms of spin-off, I'd say my favorite spin-off is probably one of the mystery dungeon games. Um, if we go strictly by playtime, it'd be Blue Rescue Team. I have quite a lot of playtime in that, but uh, I think story wise, I preferred Explorers of Darkness slash Time. I think that had just a more interesting story as a whole. But I really like the Mystery Dungeon series. It's good. I haven't fully played through the Switch one in part because it's just a remake, but yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, I played Super Mystery Dungeon back in the day, and I thought it was pretty fun. That was actually my first dungeon game, so I haven't played any of the original ones. So it's not that I don't like dungeon games, just that I'm more of a Ranger fan myself. I prefer the Ranger games over the other one.
Yeah, Ranger. I've only played, I think, one or two of them, uh, and they're interesting. It just gets tiring to like you know
Yeah,
swirl your stylus in such small circles
like
really quickly for like hours on end.
yeah, I didn't get sick of that. But imagine if we get a remake for the Switch where we have to actually use our arms and our Joy-Cons as the stylus, and we have to circle and circle and
Oh
circle
my
and circle and
God.
circle over again.
That would be rough. No. What'll happen is, Switch 2 will come out. It's just gonna have a stylus for handheld mode, and then
Maybe,
then yeah,
maybe,
in dock mode, then
maybe.
it will have to be Joy-Con. Oh God, that'd be so bad.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That
It's
I.
like Beat Saber, but Pokemon Ranger. God, our arms would
I
get
know.
tired so fast.
Who knows? All right. So my favorite game. My opinions about this entire topic have shifted. So my overall favorite game is Black 2 and White 2 by
Mhm.
far. I have such a love and affinity for Gen 5 that uh, that was, in my opinion, that was peak. That was peak Pokemon in terms of storyline. It had some
Yeah.
of the best written storylines of any main series Pokemon game to this day. There's not there's not a main series game that has topped it. And it has the best rival in my opinion. Hugh is the best rival of all time because he's not in there to one up you or to try and beat you for glory. He's there to make sure you're tough enough to benefit his goal, which is to destroy Team Plasma. So love that aesthetic. Love that aesthetic. Plus, I got a good chunk of Pokemon I love from Gen 5. And so many good dark type Pokemon. I could use a Lucario before the first gym. That'd be a bonus. But in terms of spin-off games, I gotta go with XD Gale of Darkness. I played it once, and I fell in love with the game. It was so cool, such good storyline. Battle mechanics are cool. The animations made me laugh my ass off. And I forgot that minor B was a thing, and I fell out of my chair laughing so hard. Yeah, because I forgot he Mirror B. I forgot he was a thing, so I fell out of my chair laughing when he came in here disco dancing with his gigantic ass red and white hair bumping up and down. I was losing my shit.
Yeah, Mirror B is something that I've seen from the game, but I've never actually played XD Gale of Darkness or Coliseum.
Yeah, I never played Coliseum. I only played XD, but if I highly recommend you giving it a play. Even if you do it on an emulator, I highly recommend giving it a play. It is so much fun. But a close second, Shadows of Almia, Pokemon Ranger. It's a close second. I love the Ranger games, and that was my favorite one.
I did enjoy the Ranger games that I played, which I think I did Guardian Signs and Shadows of Almia. I don't know that I played the first one, but I mean, yeah, they were fun. Like I still enjoyed them. It's just when you're circling and like you're just like desperately trying to circle and your arm is starting to get a bit tired. It's like ah.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, that was a funny one. All right, so let's move from love to hate. So you know what I'm doing on the side and you were thinking about this topic. So, Kawa, hit me. What is your least favorite Pokemon and why?
So let's first clarify here. I didn't pick this with the fact that you have to hunt it in mind, okay? So don't don't consider that fact.
Okay.
But no, my least favorite Pokemon, playing off what we were saying before, where some middle evos are bangers and some are just not, is Brion. I think Brion is one of the ugliest Pokemon that exist. I
Brion.
hate it. I just I don't like it. I just don't think it looks good. Like when I first saw it in I think it was Usum, right? Ugh. I genuinely looked at it and I was just like, what is that? And when I found out it was the evolution of Poplio, I was just like, oh my god. Like Poplio has grown on me, but I wasn't that big of a fan of Poplio in the first place. But then I saw Brion and I was just like, ugh, that is awful. Primarina though, Primarina's good. I like Primarina. But Brion, no, I do not like Brion. It's its eye primarily. Its eye is like what really gets me. It just does not look that much like an eye because I just don't like
it. You're giving. I've never seen somebody give that much hate for Brion. I've known people to give that type of hate for Braixen, but I've never heard someone giving that much hate for Brion. I mean, my lord.
I just don't like Brion. I just don't. I gotta pull it up to look at it again. It's overall fine when it's you see a lot of art for it. It's fine. It's mostly just its model, where its model kind of has the lids part way down, so it just didn't look much like I need to look at Cerebi so I can actually see the model again.
Well, if we need to talk about eyes, go ahead.
It's literally, so it's just that every time I think about it, so Spence and I were talking a little beforehand, but every time I think about it, usually I forget it exists, and if somebody says oh, what's your least favorite Pokemon, I don't even know what to tell them. I'm just like, I don't know. But as soon as I remember Brion, I'm just like, oh, yep, that's the one. That's it. Don't like Brion. Wait, what were you saying about eyes?
Well, if we want to complain about give discrepancy on eyes, I mean, people think Rookidee, the whole compass of its face is its eyes, but no, its eyes are only those red little dots.
Yeah, which is true of Bellybolt as well, where it's just got massive eyes. But yeah, I mean, it's my dislike for Brion is probably somewhat unfounded as a whole, because the more often I look at it, the more I go, it's not that bad. But when I first saw it in game, I was definitely just what the heck? What is that?
I mean, I can go into my I think you can you can go into my thing here and I can show you the whole list of most hated mons of all the nerds I've said. I mean, we've got people that go from Stunfisk down to Ice Cube to Mr. Mime. We got Esper of all things, Jinx, Starly, Slowking. We got a whole slew of things that people can hate. So I don't judge why people hate the things they hate. All I know is that it just
Shine just got something, I think.
He did.
Oh,
again?
No, I just heard him. I heard him get excited. I don't know what it was. Anyway, looks like it's not that he found a shiny.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. I wish I had a third monitor so I can watch, so I can keep an eye on people that keep an eye on people while I'm doing these shows, because I know people who, because I like to keep an eye on the people that we watch.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
But yeah, you see, remember when I said there's a thing about dark type Pokemon I absolutely hate?
Yeah.
That thing is a Alolan Persian. Fuck that thing.
It's got such a chubby face.
The face is one thing. The design is a whole different. The face is one thing. The whole design is one factor. but it's a freaking disgrace to the entire dark type lineage, and it's the biggest slap in the face to me. I keep saying this every time. Is this the closest thing we got to a dark type gym leader before Piers and Marnie were introduced was Nanu to Kahuna of Ula Ula Island. That was the closest thing we got. Then, lo and behold, when you battle him, guess what? His ace is that stupid disgrace, watermelon-faced disgrace of a cat. Don't get me wrong, I love cats. I absolutely adore cats. But the fact of the matter is, that thing, it gives me so much grief that I want to punt it to the sun of all things. Like, dude. And then I had an old friend that made me shiny hunt the stupid thing by submitting 100,000 channel points. But joke was on him. 192 eggs, 4 hours, done.
Nice and quick. Probably could have done SOS to get that done pretty fast too.
Nah, I only had I don't have a DS with a capture card, so I couldn't have done it. Like, I made the exception of streaming DSs the old-fashioned way for the Full Odds Showdown, but otherwise I haven't streamed anything DS related since then.
Yeah, that's one thing that I tend to forget. It's like, at this point, I've had a good number of the cap cards for like 2 to 3 years, so it's just like, I just kind of take them for granted. I forget about the time where I didn't really have them. And having 2 3DS caps and 2 DS caps and 2 Switch caps, you just get used to having it. But I know that nowadays it's like pretty hard to get your hands on a lot of those kind of caps, which is rough.
Yes, it is.
I mean, admittedly, my second 3DS capture I only kind of got because I like kind of heard through the grapevine that he had some extra captures still available. And so I messaged him and was like, hey, since we've done business before, could I maybe get another one?
Just to give you perspective, the main guy that works on capture cards these days, the only one you can actually mod with a capture card is the new 3DS XL. And getting those is near impossible without paying $200-300. Paying as much as a regular Switch.
Yep.
If I would somehow be able to get my hands on a capture card, DS with a capture card, I would stream SOS hunting and Type Null SRs in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the 3DS caps are the ones that are harder to come by. The DS caps aren't that bad. You can usually get a DS capture just like on a DS Fat. I mean, a DS Fat will cost you probably like $75 tops at this point, and then the capture itself is like $90, so you can get that fully set up for less than 200. It's just a matter of whether they're available, which I can find out pretty quickly whether there's any available right now.
Yeah, but right now I'm investing that money into ink on my body.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It looks like there are some available right now. Cool.
Interesting.
Neat. Get a Type-C to Type-C cable. Let's see. Yep, yeah, no, cool. So there are, in fact, DS capture boards available. Nice, cool. Not that I need more, but...
Not that I need more.
I mean, I could have 4, but I shouldn't. I don't use it quite as much anymore to justify doing 4.
Yeah, I hear you. But all right, there you know, my hatred for a lowland Persian holds no bounds. I'm actually like I'm procrastinating to do this because I don't know if it's gonna work, or should I say I don't know how fast it's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna make a TikTok and say, you know how much I hate this thing. Do you want to see me do a whole playthrough with it? Get this TikTok to 1,000 followers, and I'll do it. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go, but yeah.
Are you hoping that it goes well or not? That's the real question. Do you want those 1,000 followers?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes
like,
and no.
Which here is more important, the 1,000 followers or not doing a full playthrough with your Galarian, or not Galarian, Alolan version?
Well, basically get as far as I can. I mean, I'm only gonna do it in Moon, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, what about your least favorite shiny? What shiny has really grinded your gears over the years?
So, yeah, that was one where I didn't have any immediate answer, so I was just kind of looking at some shinies earlier. And I don't know if there's any that would really grind my gears per se. I've been blessed in that I haven't had any especially long hunts that I've actually finished. I mean, like, there's been times where, like, a Safari Week, for example, I've gone like almost 30K encounters with like nothing, which is annoying, but that's not hate towards any one particular shiny in that case. That's just like Safari, please. Um, but I was looking through shinies and I saw one that made me pretty sad to see, and that's Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn, like the pre-evolution, which I'm now blanking on. What is the
Pharaoh
name of
Seed.
the Ferroseed? Yeah. The pre-evolution, like the spikes become a nice light blue, and the steel just becomes like a little more bluish as well, I think, and it looks really nice. But then Ferrothorn, instead of doing that, the steel becomes like yellowish, but not even like a goldish. It's like a weird, like kind of worn yellow, and then the grass just becomes red. And I was like, why? Why would you do this? Like, if you just stuck to the color scheme of Pharaoh Seed, it would look great. Like, why? I just don't like it. I looked at it, I was like, this seems like such a shame. But I don't know. This is one that I don't have any like particularly strong answer for, because the thing is, most people will give, oh, this shiny because it's so subtle, right? I don't like how subtle it is. You can barely tell it's shiny. I actually like a lot of the subtle shinies usually. Like, I think that the fact that you can barely tell makes the hunt in particular more exciting, because like you're sitting there wondering every time, like, oh, am I going to be able to notice, am I going to be able to notice? And then as soon as it pops up, you can tell right away, and that's a really nice feeling. But like, I just looked through and I was like, I don't like the colors of this one, and I'm disappointed in what it could have been, which is also a reason people pick least favorite shinies as well.
Mine's in that field, but the thing is, the change is so subtle, it makes zero difference whatsoever. And it's a three-way tie: Charcadet, Armorers, and Ceruledge.
The eyes, yes.
Yes, the
That
eyes. That's the difference. This is the difference. Just this is shiny. This is regular. This is shiny. This is regular. Shiny, regular. Shiny, regular.
Yeah.
Shiny, regular. It makes no freaking sense.
Yeah, those are definitely ones where it's a lot of potential there for like how cool they could have looked, but instead ended up with the eyes.
Yes.
It is. Those definitely are pretty disappointing ones. The thing that makes the Ferrothorn worse for me though is that I saw what was possible with Pharaoh Seed. At least with the like Charcadet, Armarouge, and Ceruledge, they're just all consistently bad, right? You don't get hope from Charcadet only to have it dashed with Ceruledge and Armarouge. But no, I totally
the
agree.
problem
It is real disappointing.
Yeah, but we speculated so much on what the shinies would look like, and here's the thing I always say every single time: all they had to do was make Charcadet a charcoal gray color to represent burnt out charcoal, and then swap the color schemes of Armorers and Ceruledge, and they would have been bomb shinies. But nope, someone in the design team was like, nope, let's just swap the eye color, and that'd be fine. And then the world raged.
Yeah, no, it certainly did. Yeah, no, I fully agree with it.
Yeah, like to this day, that is the one shiny I will never hunt. I will never hunt it. Even if somebody pays me to do it, I will not hunt it. The only way I'm gonna hunt that thing is if somebody donates $1,000 to the channel. That would be the only way I would shiny hunt that thing. That's my base. That's my base. That's my base of what I would want. What I would want to shiny hunt the thing.
That's what you say now, but then when somebody does that as a meme someday, you're just gonna be like, Do I have to? Do I really have to do it? Can we just say this was a meme, please?
Yeah,
You'll probably end up doing it anyway, but like, you're still not going to want to do it.
Look, unless somebody says in this podcast series that their like genuinely their least favorite Pokemon is this, then I'm like, no.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, if they said that, it's unlikely that anyone would say that it's genuinely their least favorite Pokemon, because the line as a whole is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely.
Maybe some people have a big Mega Man hate and are just gonna be like, I don't like Armor Rouge because it reminds me of Mega Man.
Who knows? All right. Well, what about your least favorite type? What about that?
Yeah, this is another one where I don't have any particularly strong feelings in terms of least favorite type. If I had to say one, either bug type, because I just don't use them much. I'm not a huge fan of insects as a whole, or normal, just because a lot of the normal types don't necessarily have particularly exciting designs, right? Or like have particularly strong identity. And I mean, I get that's like kind of the point of normal, but like, you know, that's the whole idea behind it. But still, it's like, just because that something is meant to be that way doesn't mean I have to like it that way.
Yeah, I feel you. I never really had much affiliation for the bug type until like Gen 7 when Vikavolt was introduced onto the scene.
Yeah, Vikavolt's cool. I also like the Scyther line quite a lot, but I mean, by and large, I just don't really care for the 3-stage bugs or the 2-stage bugs. Just like, you know, don't care for the Wurmple line much. I don't care for Weedle or Caterpie lines. Don't really care about the Ladybugs much. Just like, I mean, they're there, you know, they're okay. You can evolve them quickly, yeah, but like they fall off super hard most of the time. It's like, I don't know. There's just not much going for them that I'm just like, yeah, bug types. Woo!
Yeah. I mean, in Gen 7 and 8, I had a bug type at least one of my teams, but Gen 9, I had to, no bug type really caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Locax is dark type, it didn't catch my eye because it was only a 2-stage.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be pretty obvious what my least favorite type would be, but maybe not. I hate fairy types.
Yeah, that's about what I expected.
Am I that basic?
Well, I mean, it was more so like you like the edge of dark types. What can I say? And now there's fairy types, which are like completely without any edge whatsoever.
Well, Grimmsnarl has edge, so I give it that. There are a few dark types.
That's because it's dark type as well.
Look,
in that case, it's just that your love of dark type is outweighing your dislike of fairy type.
Grimmsnarl, Gardevoir, Togekiss, Mimikyu, Sylveon, and Alolan Ninetales. Those are the only 6 fairy type Pokemon I can genuinely stand because I have used them before. The rest of them, no,
and
go away.
Of those, 2 are darker ghost, 2 came before fairy type was even a thing, and then, well, I mean, the other 2, one's an evolution, and then, I mean, Alolan Ninetales is just like beautiful, looks really nice, so it makes sense.
Hey, look, I got a history with Alolan Ninetales, okay? Well, Alolan Vulpix, for that matter. I have successfully shiny hunted Alolan Vulpix in every single Pokemon game that is available on the Switch, including Let's Go, which is the trade. Fun fact, you can, I've done that trade hunt, and 4,041 trades, I got that Vulpix.
Just before odds. Wow.
Yeah, just before odds.
Yeah,
I
no,
got, I
I've
got,
seen some people do those trade hunts.
yeah, I got 3 of them within 200 eggs in Sword and Shield, all with snow warning. And then in Gen 9, I got one in the biomes.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah, I also fairy types gets hatred for me because fairy type, like when it first got introduced, it got basically the golden package treatment because it got a gym, it got a legendary, it's the ace, it's the type of the ace of the Pokemon League champion, and it's
Meanwhile, when
just
Dark type got introduced in Gen 2,
yeah, when Dark type got introduced in Generation 2, we got a pseudo and an Elite Four member, and that was it. We got an Elite Four member in Gen 3, in Gen 5. We didn't get a gym until Generation 8. Why?
you did get multiple Elite Four members though. Like,
but Elite Four members aren't the same as gyms because gyms have a lot more. Gyms have a lot more emotional and like emotional lineage because they're the stepping stones that we face on our journey to the Elite Four.
And usually story involved as well.
Yeah. But yeah.
That being said, though, some of those Elite Four rooms are pretty cool.
I can agree with you on that front, but still, just show more love to the dark type. I know it's the evil type in Japan, but come on. You guys have not been evil since Generation 6.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. So, what about your least favorite Pokemon game? This could be a main series or a spinoff.
Yeah. So ultimately, this is something that could potentially be considered a bit of a hot take, but I would say Red and Blue. I just don't. I have no nostalgia for it. Right? It was like before my time, essentially. Like, sure, it was released in my lifetime, but like, I wasn't old enough to play it when it released. Right? Like, and if you try to play it nowadays, it doesn't really hold up, honestly. Like, limited inventory, no, like, you don't, the type charts are totally different. There's no special versus physical split in the typical way that we do it nowadays. It's like they're so different from the modern games. I mean, they're so different even from like Gen 3 or Gen 4. They don't hold up in my opinion. Like, sure, if you've got the nostalgia for it, by all means go ahead, do it. But Gen 1 and no matter what people say, Red and Blue don't have shinies, right? They don't. Like,
Nope.
there are Pokemon that become shiny when you bring them over to Gen 2 just because of how Gen 2 converts the mons, but in Gen 1 they are not shiny. Like, look, I'm not going to rain on people's parades that want to do that kind of hunting. Fine, go ahead, but they're Gen 2 shinies in that case. You found it in Gen 1, sure, but they're Gen 2 shinies. Like, but yeah, they're my least favorite. They have nothing going for them for me aside from the fact that they're the first games. But otherwise, like, I don't care about them.
But yes, also to be fair, those games were bugged. That like I don't know if I can compare the bugs in Gen 1 to the bugs in Gen 9, but
Yeah.
the fact that 9 generations later we're still dealing with bugged games, it's like, yeah, this is kind of like a niche at this point.
Well, to be fair, so my profession by trade is a computer scientist, so I'm fairly familiar with that kind of thing. But to be fair to the more modern games, there's a lot more going on. It is far more difficult to successfully get rid of all the bugs in a modern game than it is to get rid of all the bugs in a game that was developed for a handheld console in the mid 90s. Right?
Fair.
You can do far more extensive testing on something that's only got like, less than a gigabyte of data in comparison to now where it's going to be at least several gigs. I mean, I don't know exactly how much space the code took up on a Game Boy cartridge, but I can't
I
imagine
almost
it's
forgot.
more than like 100 megabytes or something. Like it's pretty small, right? Um, with 100 megabytes, yeah, there's still going to be a fair amount of code there, still a fair amount going on, but like you don't have as much. There's not as many places to look when something goes wrong, which like is admittedly something people don't always realize when it comes to bugs, right? Like, yeah, sure. It might be very easy to see this bug and see that it's happening, but that doesn't mean it's easy to figure out the cause. Sometimes that's pretty hard. And additionally, with the rush schedule that Pokemon tends to have nowadays, I don't blame the developers really at all. It's not entirely their fault. It's just how
Yeah,
it
but
goes.
at the same time, wouldn't you have agreed that if they had just pushed
Absolutely.
back the deadline and fixed the most obvious bugs,
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet would have
Hey,
been a much more enjoyable game.
absolutely. I'm all for that. But ultimately that decision is not the devs. They don't get to make that call. That's on the publishers usually.
Yep.
Slash upper management. Like the ones programming the games, right? They don't get to decide. They probably were like, this stuff is buggy. Give us more time to fix it. And they're like, nope, nope, we got to ship it now. We got to do it for the holiday season so we can get maximum sales. You can't have another 3 months. Too bad. It's like, come on. But no, I mean, I get it from all sides. But obviously, yes, I would be totally happy if it was like, yeah, Scarlet Violet comes out a year later. But look, now it's so polished. I'm all for that. But like, I know that the overall community can be quite demanding.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, Scarlet and Violet is my least favorite Pokemon game. It's actually X and Y.
Hmm.
And no, it's not solely because the fairy type was introduced in those games. It's not because of that. It's mainly because the games felt so unfinished to me. Like, there was so much the games could have done that would have made it a much better game. Like, seriously, there's like zero post game stuff you can do. Zero. Like, yes, you can catch a bird, you can do the battle mason, you can do like the looker quest, but
You can
in
do Friend
reality,
Safari.
that's pretty much, yeah, and also friend safari. Other than that, there's nothing to do, in my opinion. But on top of that, the champion of the game is barely a thing. I kid you not. You only
Yeah.
unless you repeatedly battle her, you only speak to her 5 times in game
Yeah.
if you don't repeatedly battle her. Like I even like I'll this is also kind of a hot take, but I will go down in history saying that Diantha is the single worst champion of all time. Gita is a close second, but Diantha to me is worse.
Yeah. And I think ultimately some of that comes down to you probably haven't watched much of the anime, I imagine, or you're talking about it solely from a game standpoint.
I'm
Um,
talking about it I'm talking about solely as a game. I watched the entire X and Y anime. The X and Y anime was perfection to me.
so then does it still stand? Do you still think Diantha is the worst if you consider anime as well?
Yeah, still. I
I
just
don't
don't
I
like the
haven't
fact.
seen that much of it, so
Uh, but yeah, like there's so much of the game that's so unexplored. Like that the desert area where there's like all those buildings and whatnot. There's so much unexplored area. It's like what are we supposed to do with these?
yeah.
And uh,
And I
it's
think
yeah. And
some of that was the 3D, the fact that it was the first 3D game probably.
yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
so
I have
I
I
think they were
openly
experimenting somewhat with route design as a whole. Because I mean, the reality is, if you look at some of the older games, there are also some routes that have like random ruins or stuff on it that you don't really ever learn anything about. Right? They're just there, right, to kind of add some feel ambiance to the route.
yeah.
I think it's just with the 3D, it's far more pronounced, right? Because now for some of them, you could walk into those and like really see more details. And so you felt a need to know more about them.
Yeah.
which was fair, right? But no,
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily think too hard about it. In part because I kind of X and Y is like really where I started falling off. Um, anyway, in terms of Pokemon, so like I don't even know if I had actually finished the game when I had fallen off or not. So like I didn't my X and Y experience is like somewhat limited. I did it again as like a Nuzlocke in more recent times, well, recent years ago at this point. But um yeah, I just haven't done that much X and Y, so I don't know how bad quote unquote it is. But I can see what you're saying. I think for shiny hunters, a lot of them defend it because of all the various method hunts that were introduced in X and Y. Because I mean, you've got chain fishing, you've got the safari for the friend safaris, you've got hordes, you've got I know there's more. I mean, I know you have Dex Nav and Oras, but I know X and Y has more. I can't remember them at the moment. I know there's Masuda still, but I mean that's in everything. But anyway, there's like a whole bunch of different options that made it a lot easier to hunt, which people liked. But I'd say as like just a game, yeah, it does have some of those weaknesses you mentioned.
Yeah, but also the biggest weakness, in my opinion, is just the lack of megas because you only face a mega evolved Pokemon like let's
In
see,
the story,
one.
in the story, gotcha.
Yeah, you face a mega evolved Pokemon once, twice, three times, and there's so like every gym past Karina should have had a mega. Every Elite Four should have had a mega, and it's just like there's so much we missed in terms of. Did you close out the thing again?
I didn't do it.
I think it's probably a time thing. All right, I'll keep that in mind the next time we do. I'll keep that in mind the next time I do this. But yeah, just lack of gym. Like the eighth gym leader is so easy. Like all you need is a Blaziken, or all you need is a physical fire a fire type move, any fire type move on Abomasnow, and then a physical fire type move on Cryogonal, and then a special fire type move on Avalugg, and damn, they're all done.
Yeah. Or you just, get like a Mega Gengar and then just sweep it all anyway.
It's just super easy.
Yeah. No, it was. When I had done my Nuzlocke of it, it was pretty easy to get through it. For
All
sure. But
right.
I agree. They should have had megas at every gym, kind of like how with Gen 9 they had them Terra in every single gym, or they had the Z moves happening all the time in Gen 7. And in Gen 8 they also had the, Dynamax, the Gigantamax in each I think they had a Gigantamax in every gym, at least.
They had a Gigantamax post, like that Gigantamax in every gym since Kabu.
Mm. Yeah, so the
Kabu
first couple were
started it, and
just
then everyone else did.
Dynamaxes. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. It would have been good if they had megas more in the actual story and like um setup battles, because otherwise, yeah, they're very much not present.
Yep, I can definitely agree with you on that. All right, so you kind of touched based on it a little bit earlier, but what is your very first experience with Pokemon? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. What was the first thing you can remember that you know what I mean? What's the first thing you can
Yep.
remember when it comes to Pokemon?
So ultimately, I don't know exactly what my first experience with Pokemon is. It was probably through like a commercial or something of the sort. But the first time I played one of the games was when I was just like outside playing with one of the neighbors' kids, and they were like, "Yo, here, check this out." And they had a Game Boy Color with either silver or gold, um, and they just let me. I mean, it might have been red or blue, but I think it was silver or gold. They let me play some of it. I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" I was probably like 5, 6, somewhere around that age. Uh, so at that point, I asked for like a Game Boy Advance and Pokemon, and so I ended up with Ruby. Right, is my first game that I owned personally. Right. so that was Ruby was my like main first experience with Pokemon. And I mean, it was good. Went on from there until X and Y came out. Then I fell off. Then came back later with streaming.
Yeah, fun fact, I'm a Gen 3 baby myself.
Yep.
But that was in terms of the games. In terms of Pokemon, my very first time memory I bring up is when I borrowed a VHS tape that had, and yes, VHS tape were all dinosaurs, blah 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 blah. Was a VHS tape that had the 3 episodes of Pokemon Shipwreck, The Isle of Giant Pokemon, and Tentacool and Tentacruel, which, fun fact, is a banned episode in the United States.
Yep. I don't remember the exact reason why, but
yep,
there's
me too.
A couple of them.
But yeah, as watching it for the first time, I was just really mesmerized by it. I watched cartoons as a kid, but this was a whole new world to me because even though this was technically a cartoon, this is also an anime. So it was my very first experience with anime, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Then I saw saw a little bit about the cards, and I got a little bit of interest through there. Then it came down to playing the Pokemon Sapphire for the first time and fell in love with playing the game. So ever since Sapphire, I've played played Leaf Green, and then I went on to play Diamond, Platinum. Like, I've played pretty much every single Pokemon game there is that has ever been created. So yes, I am a full-blown Poké-nerd, and I am not ashamed of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely watched at least some of the early anime when I was younger. I just don't know exactly when it happened, whether it was before I played the game or after. And that's in part just because, like, my mother was not big on cartoons, so I was mostly a Disney Channel only kind of child.
I see.
That was all that I got to watch. So if I was watching that, it was usually getting snuck in somehow or another. So
Sneaky boy.
yeah, once I learned how to change channels, I just do so while they weren't looking. Go to a different television.
Hi, I'm blah blah blah, and you've been watching Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. All right, so we've been kind of giving hot takes all for the whole time, but what is one hot take that you have that will that can rile someone else's gears?
I mean, well, there's already the one I said about Gen 1. You know, especially those that are hunting Gen 1 shinies. That's sure to rile some. But well, it's not necessarily hot take, but could definitely rile some people's gears. I I tend to be very much towards the side of doing things as legitimately as possible. So like I'll say things like, Emily, as far as now, granted, I have a fairly open stance on it. So like as far as I'm concerned, shinies on emulators are not real shinies. Like, not for me at least, right? Like, I'm not going to stop people from hunting them. When people get their enjoyment out of it, that's great. That's great. I get it. Also, Pokemon games are very expensive to pick up, so like I'm not going to judge people for that. But like that's a somewhat hot take. Now, it's not a like spicy hot take, just like a warm take. Now, the
Yeah.
biggest hot take by far is that's Gen 1 one. I'm trying to think what else. Probably not really a hot take, but Pikachu is completely overrated.
Yeah.
I It's too much Pikachu. I don't know. It's like I don't care about Pikachu that much. Please stop. I know he's the mascot, but please stop making everything Pikachu.
Yeah, I know. I'm the exact same way. And like, ugh. Yeah, just too much of one thing. It leads to a whole bunch of bad stuff.
Yeah, it's again just that kind of overdosing. You see it too much, and it's like enough, no more, please.
So I
It's
actually,
literally like Pokemon Company. They come out with anything. There's a Pikachu version, always, always, always. It's like, stop, please. I don't always want Pikachu. Can we have a different plush for World stuff? Can we, maybe have a different Pokemon get featured here and there? Ugh, whatever. It's fine. And even
uh,
when they change the anime where they're like, "Oh no, Pikachu's going away." There's still a Pikachu.
yes,
It's just a
there's still,
different Pikachu.
yeah, it's still Pikachu. Pikachu's voice actor still has their job, but it's not for the same Pikachu.
Pikachu, yeah, okay, Pikachu went away, but it's still just Pikachu as the like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, ugh. I mean, I get it. Mascot. It's the mascot. I know it has to be everywhere, but still.
So I've been waiting to say this for the last hour and a half, and pretty much I've noticed it on the backs on your back on your on the top of your cabinet up there. I don't think Furret's cute.
Oh, really?
I don't. I understand the whole meme behind it and why it's such a lovable Pokemon, but I never got into it. I don't think it's cute. It's just the same old level 2 rat that you get on every other route. To me,
Yeah.
it's the same
No,
thing.
I can get that. I don't have like a super big love for it or anything. It's more just that particular plush. When I saw it, I was just like, "Oh, wow, this is a cute plush." Because I mean, it's just like, look at it. It's just happy brain empty.
I
Like,
just I
this
don't
one
find.
itself, I feel is pretty cute, which is part of why I got it. But by and large, I don't like include for it on many teams or put for it into like one of my top Pokemon spots or anything. I just
I
like this
know.
for it plush.
I know, like I just like I understand the meme behind it, the thing walking to the
Yeah,
Accumulatown theme until the next game release,
until the
but
Gen 4 remakes. Yeah, and
yeah,
then Gen 4
yeah,
remakes happened.
yeah, I didn't find the meme funny, and I get the whole meme behind it, but I don't find it hilarious. I never found it hilarious. I never found it cute, and it's just like like whoever started it, like kudos to you for giving Furret love, but that's not for me. That's not for me.
Yeah. I think it was probably funny for the first like maybe month after they made it, but then you're like 6 years deep or something on it. It's like not that funny at that point.
It got in a cult. It basically, I understand that it got kind of an occult following.
Yeah, I wasn't part of it. Don't worry.
Ugh. Okay, next up on the show is what I like to call the emote elaboration. So please share with us some of your Pokemon related emotes and give us some backstory or history behind them, and if possible, who made them.
All right, so we'll start with that one. Uh, my Espeon,
Yes, Beyond.
because yes, it's an Espeon nodding yes. So Espeon. Yeah. Um, just a shiny Espeon. That was actually made by Modest for it, who's
Speak of the devil.
well, yeah, but Modest is just a member of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Modest did a good job with it overall. I'm really pleased with it, but ultimately it's just because, well, two reasons. One, I really like shiny Espeon, as previously discussed, and I wanted just a Nodders emote anyway, and when I came up with the pun, I was like, well, now it has to be. So yes, beyond. Let's see. Other Pokemon emotes that I have. A lot of my emotes are not Pokemon. Um,
I hear you.
but I also have my tap emote, which is a shiny Trico that was also made by Modest. Uh,
Aw, that's cute.
which is, yes, it's nice. It's a cute one. More Trico stuff happens. Let's see. This high was made by Espenwald. Let's see. I have a Necrozma that is like success kidding. That was made by Pokeplays. Um, yes, there's a couple of emote slots that got filled out. Think I think there was a subathon or something at one point that unlocked a bunch of emotes. Let's see.
Uh-huh.
The other ones I have, the next two were drawn. Well, I guess next three were all drawn by me during said subathon, which are just a Dynamax Pokeball, a sleeping Slowpoke, which I think I actually did decently well on, all things considered, because I don't really have much artistic ability. And then just a Dialga head that's basically acting as clock hands
That looks pretty.
on a clock.
That
But
looks good. That looks good.
yeah, so like those various ones, like I did better than I would have ever expected. Again, especially with the Slowpoke, but I don't have too many of the Pokemon emotes because emotes are something that, although I've invested some in, not a ton.
Yeah, I hear you.
In part because it's you got to come up with ideas for them, right? And so there's that fact first of like, okay, let me identify what sort of hole I have that I want filled with an emote, and then of course after that you got to find somebody you to make the emote, and you got to have a like somewhat fleshed out idea. It doesn't have to be fully fleshed. It could be a very basic idea, and then they'll flesh it out for you. But you still have to have some sort of direction with it all the same. So it's just something that's been on the back burner for me in many ways. But I do quite like the ones that Modest made, the Yes Beyond and the Tap. Spence is nice too, and I think I did okay on mine. And Poke
Yeah.
plays. I'm glad to have Poke plays.
Yeah, they all worked good. So I'm gonna drop all mine at once, and I got 20 of them. I'm
Oh
not gonna
boy,
discuss them. I'm not gonna discuss them individually, but well, in length. But I will discuss them why as to what they are and why.
dark type, dark type, dark type.
Yeah. Most of my emotes are themed off of dark types because of my aesthetics, but there are a few in there that aren't themed off the dark types. For example,
I see
Reggie
the well picks.
Drago, Reggie Drago,
I
Lantern.
guess that is pure dragon. Yeah.
Yep, Lantern, Vulpix, Alolan Vulpix, Annihilate. So, so let me just go into details. So the first two are my two of my animated ones. The Zoroa was made by Sunny. The High Dragon Band was made by video game Shay. Um, wanted a laughing emote, and I remember a scene from the Zoroark film where Zoroark was just giggling for giggling like crazy, and I was like, I want that emote shiny, so she made it. High Dragon's my band hammer, so it's basically High Dragon just bashing its hands on the ground as like a band.
Serves as a
Shame
tap as well.
it's not like a tap; it's more like a band hammer because it's
No, no, I
supposed
know.
to.
I'm saying it serves as one as well, though. If like you're in desperate need of a tap.
Yeah, kind of. All right, so Shay made also my regular Obstagoon emote. Also, let's see. She also made my Lantern emote, and Lantern there's because I did an electric only Nuzlocke in Shield, and I fell in love with Lantern, which I never had much affiliation for it, and I named it Sushi, so it's kind of an homage to that Lantern. And she also did my Obsta Piers, which is like an Obstagoon fused with Piers, and it has the mic and it's singing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Sunny did a good chunk of these. My high emote was Sunny. My lurk emote, Reggie. My let's see. My Zoroark Pog, my Grimmsnarl Sus, and my GGs, which is the Pokeball caught with the Dust Ball. Lurk is obviously my Darkrai emote because lurking in the shadows. Reggie Drago is my Shiny Luck emote because Reggie Drago is my very first on-screen shiny, so it pays homage to Reggie Drago. And I have Shiny Hype and Rage themed after Obstagoon because I'm the Obstagoon guy. I got Jammin based off of Obstagoon. My three most recent emotes, which is Pride Tomb, Chill, and Monkey, were all made by Kristen Kills TTV. Hold on, I got a message.
All good.
Sorry, my family likes to give me like a heads up whenever we're about to have dinner, so I'm telling them what's happening on my end. All right, so where was I? Chris Killen's TTV, she made those ones. I needed I am a supporter of the LGBTQIA community, so I wanted a Spiritomb fusion with the Pride colors. I wanted that. Like I said, I have an affiliation with a Alolan Vulpix, so I wanted it as like a, chill and with the sunglasses as homage to me. And then Monkey, because Annihilate's my favorite fighting type, and I want an Annihilate Emote, and I just thought maybe it'd be cool just having it punch the ground and just like go Monkey. I thought it was cool. I have Umbreon plush that was made by Sunny. I just wanted a blushing Umbreon. Flex was made by Sunny. That's Urshifu's Single Strike. And my most used one of my most used ones, my Galarian Zigzagoon biting onto a heart, and that's I just wanted a cute little baby demon emote, and that's where that's where that went. Also, we have a question from the chat: best and worst Nuzlocke experience. Do you have any Nuzlocke experience?
Oh yeah. I've done a number of Nuzlocks. I did Y, I did BSP, I did
All right.
Multiple. Worst experience. I'm gonna start with that because that's more present at my mind at the moment. Scarlet and Violet Nuzlocke. I was fighting one of the Starmobiles. I was trying to stall it out, but I was doing this Nuzlocke blind. So I was able to pretty much infinitely stall it just by swapping, and I had like some leftovers and whatnot. And so I did that for like 20, 30 turns or so. And I was like, man, how much PP does this spin out move have? I was like, there's no way it's got this much. And I looked up the move and I'm like, 5? I'm like, what is going on? And eventually I realized that, oh yeah, they have infinite PP. So I literally like almost an hour of my life just swapping Pokemon back and forth trying to stall this thing out when I couldn't. So I was like, oh my god.
Oh Lord.
So that was fun. The best one, I feel like that's a lot harder. I mean, the best moment of any Nuzlocke really is when you win, ultimately. Like that's a really nice feeling. Probably when I won the Soul Link that I had done with someone, just because like those can be decently painful. It was nice to get it done so that I didn't have to worry about some of the decisions that he would make sometimes that made me very concerned during fights.
I mean, I haven't done a Soul Link before, so I understand. I can understand to a degree, not to an extent.
Yeah.
My worst Nuzlocke experience, the entirety of my metronome only Nuzlocke.
Oh God.
That
sounds awful.
Fucking
How long did that take?
Sucked. It took. I surprisingly only finished on one attempt, but it fucking sucked. It sucked every orifice.
Was the enemy limited to metronome as well?
Yeah, everything was metronomed. It sucked so bad, man. I cannot. Yeah, so many times lunar dancing, mementoing. It was every other turn was like memento and lunar dancing. It sucked so much. But best Nuzlocke experience, I kind of have to give it. Let's see, my best Nuzlocke experience. I kind of have to give it. No, not that one. I've done so many Nuzlocks. I don't know which one I should pick.
Yeah. I think at this point I've done like 6,
I
maybe
think
7.
honestly, probably my favorite. Honestly, an underrated favorite of mine was probably finishing my Sapphire Nuzlocke, because that was my first Pokemon game ever, and I never fully played it from beginning to end. So my final team was absolutely amazing. I gained a newfound respect for Breloom. I got a newfound respect for Walrein. It was just a really, really, really good team. Got a newfound respect for Hariyama too.
Yeah, and I find that that's something that happens a lot with Nuzlocks. Is you pretty much always, I find, newfound respect for at least one mon where I'm just like, oh wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was ever.
Yep. Just same way with Lantern. I didn't know how good it was, and it was actually pretty good. If Lantern had a better
Especially
base
if you get,
stat
like,
total,
Volt Absorb. Oh.
yeah, like it could have Dazzling Gleam, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Scald. It could have so many decent moves. But anyway, let's move on to my favorite portion of the show, which is shared experiences. So let's go ahead and watch our clips. Okay, so let me change it down here. So let's see, change windows to this one. Go live. Okay, should be seeing both windows now. Oh wait, hold on. I need to put it on the bottom of the screen here. This will look funny for a minute. Let's see. There we go. And here we go. Here we go. So, you, my friend, were shiny hunting Dialga. And also, look at you, baby. Look at your baby beard.
Yeah, this is the Dialga. It was my first shiny on stream, so.
Yeah, just like me with Reggie Dragos. Hey, so we have something in common. We share a dragon type shiny as our first on-screen shiny.
Yep.
But anyway, let's watch.
Like I said, YouTube's a lot of work. It's not easy. Oh my god! Guys! Look at it, it shined! Yeah. Since it was the first one on stream, it was pretty animated.
Yeah, like if at least you had a better camera than I did. My first camera had like this weird zooming feature, and you could hear it every time I made a move.
Yeah, I've had the same camera the whole time, Razer Kiyo, which has worked pretty well. Yeah, because I already had a desktop at that point, so I wasn't using like a laptop camera or anything. I didn't have any camera, period. So I just kind of looked it up. I was like, what cameras are good for streaming, and just picked that one.
Yeah, well, I went cheap. Yeah, but I went cheap because I freaking was trying to save some money, you know. But yeah, that was a big mistake. And again, we got another clip with Baby Beard, the wild area showdown you were doing as well. We'll talk more about that later, but let's watch this one.
Area. So it's kind of like there's a couple that I missed that I'm like still going around, but yeah, I know. I heard him. If it sounds good, Dark. Yo! We got the Mudkip! Oh my god! 5,005! Yeah. I don't need anything for the showdown. I'm good. I'm freaking good. Yo! What? Area.
You completely disregarding the showdown and just like was like all it was Mudkip or anything, Mudkip or all.
So part of the reason for that was I had already submitted a point to the Wild Area Showdown the previous night because I had found a Nickit while I was offline.
Oh, cool.
And so I submitted like one of the first points of the whole thing. And part of what also made Wild Area Showdown better is that was the first Showdown event, right? So that was pretty cool. But part of the other reason why I reacted that way with the Mudkip is I'm pretty sure I had found an uncatchable pooch earlier that day as well. So it was like especially surprising that I just saw both in the same day.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not one to brag, but I did find 2 shiny Celebi in the span of 24 hours. I still don't know how I did that. We'll talk more about that later, but I don't know. Well, also I did when I did find Darkrai, I did like literally the reset before Darkrai. I found a shiny Drillbur in 82 eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. Luck can be a very fickle thing sometimes where you just get a whole lot all at once, and sometimes you just get nothing for ages.
You ain't gotta tell me twice. All right, so this one's more on the variety side of Kawanaka's streaming side. So I actually have never played Fall Guys, and I really don't understand what it's all about. So what the hell is Fall Guys? Is it just like
It's essentially like an obstacle course tournament, essentially, where you run like various obstacle course mini games, and then a certain amount of people get eliminated, and then you keep doing that until there's just an ultimate winner, right? And in this particular one, the goal is to get that tail that's on the guy that's right in front of me. I'm the one with the arrow above my head. Get the tail off of that one. And basically, there's one tail. Your goal is to be the person with the tail when the time runs out, and there's 6 seconds left at this point.
I see. And also
And
from
this
Tom,
one in particular is from when the game first came out, when you still had to pay $20 for it, rather than
I see.
The new free to play. But
I see. Also from Tom, ew, Team Sword. Hello. I was on Team Sword during the the Galashani showdown, and we won.
I'm pretty sure Team Sword won the Wild Area Showdown too.
I wasn't in that one. I didn't enter the Showdown series until the Underground.
That's a rough one to start with.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get
That's
shit.
a rough one to start with.
I didn't get shit.
What's harder about that one is that was after the bangers of Wild Area Showdown and Dynamax Adventure Showdown, and then there was Underground Showdown, which the odds are just so low, so most people did not get stuff.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, let's watch this clip, guys.
Come on, run! Run! Oh,
No!
Get it, get it, get it! Get it, get it!
We got it!
Go.
We got it!
Let's go!
Woohoo! Yeah!
Let's go!
So
We
part of what
got
made
it,
this better is this
boys.
is my first win.
We got the win. Snagged it. Oh, what did I say? I just felt it was coming tonight. I'm so surprised though that the guy actually managed to grab it off me when I dove over him. But oh,
This is
feels
back when I
good,
had the
dude.
camping chair. Oh man.
What a finish. That was so close.
That was good.
Oh, that was a good game. Woohoo! Ulrich with the 400 bits. Thank you so much, dude. Luck-based game. A little bit. I mean, that cutoff at the end that I did, that was good.
Here it comes.
That's a lot. No!
Oh my god!
And that's part of why I love that clip.
Dude, that is bullshit.
That was my first win ever. And then it just pops up with that error. Just like, I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? And plus also like perfectly cut too. It's such a good cut.
Oh, 7's in the chat for that. Oh my god. My hat's off to you. Oh my god.
The good news is it did still actually end up giving me credit for the win, even though it had that like disconnection error. So I still got like a crown for it and whatnot. But I was panicking real hard when that error popped up initially. I was just like, no, are you kidding? Oh man, back when you had the mohawks still.
Yeah, this clip was me back when I had red highlights in my hair. And also, this is also probably one of the last few good clips I have of with Dominic.
Mm.
So
I'm
that's
sure
kind
you're
of
grateful though that some of these clips exist, that you can see them again.
yeah, I know. Like, I kid you not, like one of the few things that I'm glad I was a Twitch streamer that I streamed for was that everyone fell in love with Dominic. Like, no one could have loved Dominic more than I did, but the community was close enough to loving Dominic as much as I did. And the fact that I got clips that remind that I can still see him, it definitely helps me out if I'm having a bad day and I need to see my baby again, you know.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
I had a pet bird that was present within my streams here and there, and so when the bird passed away, it was a very similar thing of just like it did help to occasionally be able to just see old clips and whatnot, but pain of loss is always there, unfortunately.
yeah. All right, let's see my baby again.
Oh, yo! No shot, guys! We got the shiny male Pyroar! Yo! No shot! Yo!
I probably butchered that like crazy, but that was actually took place on Dom's. That was actually Dominic's last birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, that took place on August 3rd, 2023. Yeah, that was Dom's last birthday before he passed. And I was also back when I was back in the 14,000s for that fucking shiny Darkrai.
It's okay. You only got another 6,000 after that.
Yeah, only 6,000.
2/3 the way through.
Yeah, only that. So remember how I said I loved XD Gale of Darkness?
Yep.
This clip sums up one of the reasons why I love it. And actually, it was a moment that Radiant mentioned in the chat earlier, and I was like, I knew I needed to feature it today. So here's a laugh. And their levels. Well, I want to.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that with the electro?
Yeah, I did see Radiant mention that with the eyes popping out, but I wasn't sure what Radiant was referring to. I definitely have like various clips kind of sprinkled throughout here and there that are that kind of thing where you just have something unexpected happen.
Like, I don't
very
like
much just like
like I know the animators did this game dirty to a lot of Pokemon, but Electro doesn't have eyeballs like that. Oh my god. Oh my god.
looks like something a little more naughty than eyeballs at the moment.
That was the first PG-13 thing I've heard you say all day. Okay, so since you included a non Pokemon clip, I decided to include one. This is my very first victory in Smash Bros.
Okay.
Yeah. And you actually just keep an eye on the screen because something really cool happens when all this comes about. Watch how I win.
Rosalina's weak.
Wait, did I just?
Yeah, you won.
I won! Yo, I finally won! Link!
Everyone
Big stuff,
was
baby.
knocked out at the same time.
Do we get a moment for that?
See, look at that. I don't know if anyone else has ever done this, but everyone got second place because everyone got knocked out at the same exact time. I don't know if that's even repeatable, but it happened.
And you were probably so excited at the time that you didn't even notice initially, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Can we get him
Like even though one of the guys in VC said it, I wasn't paying attention.
Please get a moment for that. I won my first game of Smash.
Clip that, please. Clip
What the fuck?
that.
Isn't that more surprising?
I love when stuff like that happens though. But yeah, you can see that it's like it wasn't quite all at the same time, but I guess it was just close enough that
Like hold on,
they
like
just considered it. So
like okay, first
Mario's first. Or, well, Dr. Mario, then Rosalina, and then Falcon. Yeah.
so it kind of happened like I don't know, it happened so close together that I guess the game all thought it was second place.
I bet because of latency, it probably just like put them all as second to play it safe. That's probably what it did, because that's
Maybe.
an online match.
I don't know,
That's
maybe.
cool though.
Okay, so let's talk about showdowns, because you and I you're not only a showdown participant, you are one of the organizers of the showdown series.
Yes.
So as hold on, let me switch my window here so that way we can stay and call like this. There we go. So as an organizer, how amazing is it that the showdown has evolved to what it is right now? From the very first showdown, Wild Area Showdown, to all the way to the most recent showdown, Full Out Showdown. Like, how cool has it been, as an organizer, how cool is it having been, seeing this go from one showdown all the way to the current one? And so many people get involved, from content creators to viewers to people who never even heard of this series before. And like, how cool is it to see that grow so much?
So obviously, like, it's super cool, right? But it's like reduced a little bit because of the fact that the first one in and of itself was already hugely successful, right? Like, that first Wild Area Showdown was so much bigger than we were expecting just initially. Like, that first Wild Area Showdown, I think we had like 500 people in the Discord that we created, like, just for that first one. Like, that was already massive compared to what we were kind of expecting, right? Especially like, because when we made it, it was more or less meant to be like, 20 to 40 streamers with like their community participating as well. But like, at this point with the Full Odds Showdown blew up a lot more than anyone expected, really, in part because, I mean, it's full odds, right? When we did Underground Showdown, where it was 4096 odds, like, that that flopped, right? That flopped so hard. There was like barely any shinies coming in. It was like so slow, it wasn't exciting. But then, so when we were making Full Odds Showdown, or like, Full Odds Showdown was something that we had tossed the idea around a lot across the years. And while Full Odds Showdown, I did not explicitly help plan this one. This was mostly Shine and Storm that did this one. I helped with a lot of the others. It definitely did way better than I ever thought it was going to. And I think part of that is because we had Sammy and Sabian participating and really getting their communities riled up about it, because they had that bet about mustaches, right? I don't know if you're familiar with the bet.
Yes, I am familiar with it. Did Sammy actually shave his mustache?
He did. I think that was like 2 weeks ago that he finally did it.
Okay, so he was a man of his word, just like Shine was during the Great Gala Showdown when he shaved his beard off. Did you know that I actually did? Did you know that I did it myself?
No, I did not know that you did.
I told Shine that when we got to the point that when he'd have to shave his beard off, because the Great Gala Showdown was so amazing. We got all the shinies in the Galar decks, and we raised over $20,000 for charity.
Yeah.
When Shine was gonna shave his beard off, I told him I'd shave mine off too, as for emotional support, because we had never seen this man's face before, and now we got a chance to see it.
Yeah, I mean, as you've seen in the clips, there's like close to what my face is, but I mean, I haven't seen my bare face since I don't know, 2018 maybe, 2017, something like that. Like
Yeah, I
it's
feel.
been quite a while since I've shaved it off completely. Like I've trimmed it. I trimmed this like 2-3 weeks ago at this point, so
Yeah.
like brought in the sides and whatnot. But no, it's yeah, it's insane. It's truly insane to see what has happened with it. Sammy did keep his word. He did shave it. Um I'm obviously was sad about that. I kind of wish his team had won because I'm a big facial hair proponent. So you know.
Well, actually, let's
I'd rather
actually
see
put.
him go.
Actually, let's put this. Let's hold for a second. Tom's here. Tom forgot to submit a shiny before the deadline.
Tom!
If he did, it would have been the first ever tie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the full on show. So one of the things that we do try to do with the showdowns is we try to keep it close, right? We don't want one team just to completely dominate and then just, people get
Yeah.
like discouraged and don't participate, which is how we came up with like the bounties and whatnot to try to, still incentivize people to keep going, right? Get some of those extra points, catch up, right? Which is why we do give like the underdog bounties, right? But even still, usually once it gets to the end, like those last couple of hours, usually one team is pulled ahead enough to like make a difference. But man, the full odds showdown was just back and forth in those like last couple hours. It was pretty crazy.
So let me give you my experience. So very first, like the first day I did it, I went old school and I shiny hunted Celebi on my 2DSs. I genuinely did not believe I would find one. I would not find one.
I mean, that's how full odds goes.
Yeah, but 355 resets later, it freaking popped up on my 2DSSL, and I'm like, oh my god, this is my first stream back in first real stream in 6 months, and I found a shiny Celebi. I'm flabbergasted, and but that's where I got pissed off. Because the day after you guys announced that the bounty would be for mythicals, I got pissed. That I got robbed. I felt robbed because I got the mythical the day before you posted the bounty. I got so pissed. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to my second one and I'm going for that second Celebi. I fucking kid you not, less than 100 resets later, that thing pops up, and I'm like, dude, and Shine was live at the time, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, Shine, I found the second Celebi, and he's like, no fucking way, dude. He's like, what? So I had to post it on Discord, and I had to prove that it was like, they were on two separate consoles, and different stat distributions, and I'm like, oh my god, how the hell did I get two shiny Celebi? How?
Yeah, and that does bring up one of the things that we take into account when we're trying to determine what sort of showdowns we do is, checking the mons, right? And trying to make sure they're legit mons, no one's submitting the same thing twice, and or they're all, correctly caught dates and whatnot. It's part of why we haven't really done a Scarlet and Violet showdown, because there'd be a lot of Pokemon to check ultimately, especially with how big things have gotten.
Well, we did one,
might
but
happen still, but
we did the Paldea Great Showdown, but I think with how many shinies we got, that was like, okay, we're not doing that one again.
Yeah, we did do that one, but yeah, it was a lot. So we haven't done another one since, and haven't like expanded it to be more, because the original idea for the Scarlet and Violet showdowns was to kind of just do it by zone and kind of split it up into like the north, south, east, and west, right? And just do a showdown for each of those zones, because I mean, ultimately, like, we don't really want to repeat showdown ideas. I mean, we might at this point maybe do another like Wild Area Showdown or Dynamax Adventure Showdown because like it's been a while. You know, people really liked it. Why not? Maybe. But for the most part, we want them to be novel. We want them to be fresh. All right. So when we were coming up with those plans, that was like right after Scarlet and Violet came out. It was very much a like, how can we get as many things out of this as possible? Right, as many showdowns as possible. And that was also before there was a bit of a break in the showdown events anyway. But regardless, there's with Scarlet and Violet, it's a little harder to come up with like ideas for it just because there's not really any methods aside from sandwich. Right?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Just like, I mean, you can't really, in terms of like what gets submitted, you can't really tell if somebody used a sandwich or didn't use a sandwich, right? Like we could maybe do one for marked Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. You know, maybe that's an option. But it's a little harder to do as a whole.
But yeah,
as
but yeah, I hear you. But as a competitor of the Showdown series, I gotta give you guys all the props in the world for being such amazing individuals to not only organize and create these events, but also, you know, advise all of them. I have been in multiple shiny hunting events over the last few years. The Showdowns are my favorite above all else. Out of all of the shiny hunting events I've ever done, these ones are my favorites.
Yeah, the Showdown events are great. I do like them quite a lot. Now, granted, at this point we've come up with a pretty good team of mods and shiny checkers that help us out. But like, man, that first one we had like an Excel sheet and whatnot trying to figure out schedules for so that we had like someone checking at all hours, and that some of us are up till like 4 a.m. doing that. But nowadays we generally have someone for all hours usually, which is good. And it also means that some of us can participate a bit more than just do admin stuff. But no, it's good. I love the showdown events. I'm really, really happy to see what they've become. And of course, hearing how much people enjoy it. I mean, you know, we already got a pretty good idea. Again, after the first one, like we already knew, like, whoa, this is way bigger than we expected. And like super successful. And then again, you know, we did the Dynamax Adventure one next, which was just like, oh, that one worked really well for people. Then there was like there's a couple misses. Underground Showdown, Masuda Showdown. You know, some of them didn't land quite as well, but as a whole, yeah, things have gone really well. What have we done now? 7, 8? Wow, that's crazy. It's hard to believe that it's been 3 years, I think, since the first one. Yeah, almost like 3 years and a couple months at this point.
Well, I've been honored to be a part of them.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and
we're super happy.
But hell, if it wasn't for the Shine Man giving me advice, I wouldn't have returned to the Showdown the way I did. So I gotta give Shine all the props.
Great way to reappear, honestly. At least that's what I think. I might be a little biased.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. Okay, so normally by this point in the podcast we discuss Pokemon news, but the biggest thing that's going around is Pokemon TCG Pocket. So have you downloaded it? And if so, how have you been enjoying your experience? Let me know.
I have downloaded it and I have spent money on it.
Oh god. I haven't downloaded it yet, so I just I've downloaded it but I haven't used it yet. So I'm just wanting to know, like, in terms of, like, you know, between, you know, actual physical people that go and get actual physical cards and the digital ones, give me your input on that.
Well, so I mean, the physical cards are always going to be more secure, right? You're going to get more long-term value out of it because, like, you'll have them essentially until they wear down, break, you sell them, lose them, whatever. The digital cards, I mean, are only as good. They're only good as long as TCG Pocket is still around, right? Which, who knows how long they'll do that. That being said, one pack of physical cards costs anywhere from like $3 to $5, well, no, more like $4 to $6, right? It's kind of expensive to get physical cards. Whereas in Pocket, well, let's see, what's the cheapest? I mean, well, first off, Pocket, you get the 2 packs for free per day, which is nice, but also feels like not enough. But I mean, that's slightly impatient. But anyway, in terms of like actually purchasing them, if we take a look, let's see. Uh, $1 can basically get you a pack instantly. All right. So a lot cheaper in that regard. But if you spend more at once, you get essentially more packs out of it. So like you spend $100, that's 690 gold. So you're looking at 115 packs at that point for $100, which is like, that's a lot more than physical. But at the same time, like again, it's digital media, right? You're not going to be able to hold it in your hand in the same way. But that being said, because it's digital media, it also makes it a lot easier to actually use the cards, right? I haven't really done too much Pokemon TCG prior to Pocket. I'd done a little bit of TCG online, but Pocket's pretty simple, pretty easy to get into. I've been doing a lot of the versus mode with the current event that's going on. And to clear up in terms of how much money I've spent, I'm at like $25 at this point, I think is what I've spent on it. I know others that have spent more. I won't name them, but I do know there's some others that have spent more on it. But as a whole, I'm quite enjoying it. The card art is good, right? A lot of the full arts and the alt arts look really nice.
Right? I can agree.
The interactive cards, which is the Mewtwo, the Pikachu, and the Charizard, and then there's one hidden card that I don't know if you know about or not, that I'll keep hidden for the moment. Those interactive cards are really cool too, as well. To be able to like click on them and have it really expand the world that exists around that art, right? It's really neat. That being said, because the fact that you can open them for free and whatnot, I mean, they have a $10 a month subscription thing that makes it so you can open an extra pack per day. And realistically, by doing events and various other stuff, you can get slightly more than that per day. Somebody did a calculation recently where if you want to get all of the cards for free using just the like free packs, fully free to play, it would take like 600 days or something, like almost 2 years.
Dang.
But that's if you're including all of the alt arts and all the full arts and like the gold rares and all of those, right? All the like really rare cards. If you just want to get all of the cards in the set for like play purposes, it would be like 200 something days, I think. And if you're doing the premium subscription to like $10 a month, then you get all of them in like 87 days, I think is what it did. So basically like just under 3 months. So it's like, and from a collection perspective, you can get a lot more by paying a lot less, right? In terms of like getting that kind of fulfillment of being able to collect. But again, it's not physical media, right? As soon as they decide, yeah, we're not going to support TCG Pocket anymore, everything that you've collected at that point is useless / gone, right? So physical media is still a safer bet if you want that long-term investment and long-term joy from seeing it. But I play Hearthstone. I already have a digital card collection in that case, so I don't mind. I'll still invest in it because I'll enjoy it while I have it. And so far I've been enjoying the gameplay, so that helps too.
Well, as the old saying goes, as long as you're enjoying something, that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, I was saying the other stuff is a caution mostly to other people.
All right, I hear you. But yeah, I mean, me myself, I haven't downloaded the game. I have it downloaded, but I haven't actually used it, so I can't really give my input on that. But I will say that it is an interesting concept, and it is an interesting field to go into. Like anything that takes the attention off Pokemon Go, I mean, let it be.
So one thing I will say, for anyone that's considering trying it out, there are currently 2 events that are going on. Well, 3 events. There's 3 events going on right now. 2 of them you can get promo cards from, and I have no idea what the landscape for that will look like in the future in terms of how hard it'll be to get these promo cards once the events end, or if it would be just you got to trade people for it and that'd be the only way to get it. I expect they'll bring them back at some point, but who knows? They don't have to. There's nothing that says they have to. So if you're considering it, probably better to try it now before those events end, so that you could get some of those promo cards and some of the extra resources and stuff as well that come with it. But that's just my take on it. Plus, the sooner you start, the more free packs you get from the 2 daily packs. So that also helps.
I hear
Yes,
you there.
promo cards, Tom. Right now,
Promo
there's
cards.
a Lapras event. So the Lapras event has Lapras EX, a Butterfree rare, and then different art Pikachu, Mankey, and oh goodness, what's the other one? I don't remember the other card. Clefairy. That's what the other one is. And then there's also a Meowth/Chansey promo. Yes, Chansey and Meowth are the other promo, but there's 7 promo cards available right now. And the Lapras event is a solo battle, so it's you doing fights against an AI to get those. And then the Meowth and Chansey are through the Wonder Pick system, so you just get it somewhat through luck. Yeah. But at this point, I think I have 4 Lapras EX, 5 of the Butterfrees, 10 Meowth, and 4 Chansey, something like that. I'm trying to stock up on them so that when trading does get implemented, I might be able to extort some people for rarer cards with my limited time promos. I'd be like, yes, you want this promo? That'll be a full art card, please. That's the hope, at least.
All right, so now comes the time of the show where I like to give the guest a moment to give us an inside scoop on any potential plans they have streaming wise, or any goals they wish to achieve when it comes to streaming within the next, I don't know, before the end of the year, the end of next year, so on and so forth. So if there's anything you want to let us know, give us the inside scoop.
Yeah, I mean, I had a fair amount of time free up recently, so I'm just looking to just stream more often ultimately at this point again. But I mean, there's also thought about some short form content and whether I do some educational content or musical content. But I've never really done any short form content anyway, so that'd be an entirely new venture. But yeah, currently it's more just trying to figure out what I want to do, see how much. It might be time for another, not exactly a rebrand, but reformatting of things. It's happened a couple times already, as you heard in my my thing. Variety to full Pokemon, to Pokemon and variety to who knows. Might still just stick to that, but we'll see. Otherwise, stay tuned for more Showdown events.
Yeah, I like that.
Expect that there may be some maybe around that holiday time when people are off work.
Is that an inside scoop you weren't supposed to tell us?
No, we don't have anything set in stone yet. It's but usually we do like to do some when we can get as many people as possible doing it. So
I hear you.
Wouldn't be happening right at the holiday, of course, but maybe that time in between.
Maybe.
We'll try to get something set up for it, but it might be a little too short notice at this point. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see. We still got time.
Yeah, we still got a little bit of time. But yeah, I just want to continue my podcast series. I mean, above all else, I just really want to get back to interviewing the people that I want to interview. I literally have a list of like 30 names between from Judigan all the way down to Video Game Shay of people that I want to interview. So we'll see how that goes. And
it's gonna be a little tough to get Judigan though.
Yeah,
That
I know.
time difference.
Oh yeah, the 12-hour time difference. That'd be the biggest kicker right there. If I could get that to work, holy crap. But I will announce right now that the season 2 finale the season 3. I keep forgetting what season I'm in. What the heck? The season 3 finale of pokeNERDS Inc. is gonna take place next Sunday, the 17th. And I got a banger guest lined up for that one, guys. But on top of the podcast, I want to slowly edge my way back into Nuzlocking. I want to restart my Platinum Nuzlocke and from scratch and do a whole new run. And maybe potentially do a Soul Link next year, but that's all for next year. And right now I'm focusing on shiny hunting and doing my Dark only playthrough and Infinite Fusions and seeing how that goes. But so far I'm just getting back into content creation for enjoying it for what it is, and having fun because I'll be honest with myself. When I say this, I lost my way as a creator, and I fully admit to that. And it's easy to do, and unfortunately, I fell down that slope. But I have a much better mindset now, so I'm fully ready for the long haul, and I'm ready to have a lot of fun with you guys. And like I always say, I wouldn't be here without you guys. I wouldn't be the nerd I am without you guys. So, everybody, thank you all for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and again, thank you for wanting to take part in this podcast series. Thank you very much, Kawa.
Of course. No, it was a good time. I'm glad that
All right, so rule of thumb: guest chooses the raid. Where are we going?
I think we should head over to Shine because while we were talking, not just now, but fairly recently, man did find another shiny.
What did he find this time?
He found a shiny Sliggoo.
What? You are so freaking Shine, you are a lucky duck.
But yeah, absolutely. Let's head to Shine. He's got that Giga Dad subathon going on. We were already lurking over there anyway, so
yeah, me too.
Let's show him some love and support.
Yeah. Okay, so chat, if you are subscribed to my channel, you can use this raid message. If you are not subbed to my channel, you can use this raid message. See how the Pikachu has a bunch of coffee cups? Or wait, those are ramen cups. Never mind. I'm blind.
It's called Pika Ramen.
I'm blind. But anyway, before we take off, how do you normally end a stream? Like, do you have like an outro that you like to use?
Not particularly. I'm usually just like, yeah, thanks for hanging out. Bye.
Simple. Hey, simple is good. I usually like to say thank you all for choosing the back alley as your place to hang out today. Stay safe, stay strong. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, you nerds. We're not saying bye yet.
Okay.
I haven't even started the raid yet. Now the raid is started.
You were doing your exit, so I thought,
No, I was doing. I was saying what I normally say for an exit for my streams. But
I was like, man, that's the perfect segue. You lined that up magnificently.
To end every podcast, I say in honor of the True Turbo, stay safe, stay rockin', and stay true to yourself.
Turbo.
Why do you think I wear the bow tie, man?
Good call.
Yeah. But anyway, from all of us here at pokeNERDS Inc., thank you all for hanging out with us today, and I will see you guys next Sunday for the Season 2 finale, and you'll see Kawanaka whenever he's live again. So until next time, guys, take care. See ya. Bye.